Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Divine, and if this is your first time stopping by, thank you so much. Also to all my returning subscribers, thank you for stopping by once again. So in today's tutorial, I'll be showing us how to sew this beautiful trouser here, how to fix our pocket, our zipper fly, and also our band. Now I already made a previous video on how to draft this trouser. Please do well to check it out so you understand how to go about it. So let's get right into the tutorial for today. So this is my pattern here. I already drafted it in my previous video. The first thing I'll be doing now is to place a plain paper underneath my pattern. Then I'll be tracing out all the lines with the red marker here. So the red marker is our front pattern. I'll just use my pencil now to draw out all the dotted lines. Then I'll be adding my seam allowance of 1 inch by the side, 1 inch by the other side, then half inch on the top and my pocket sides. So this is my front pattern. I've added my allowance now. I'll be cutting it out. Okay, so this is what we have. So I'll also do this for the back pattern. That is, I'll trace out all the parts with the blue pen. So I'll label it the back and I'll add my sewing allowance of half inch by this side, 1 inch by the other side and the inner one, and half inch at the top. So that's it. Then I'll be tracing out my pocket bag. So please look at how I'll be tracing this out carefully. Then I'll add my sewing allowance of 1 inch by the side and half inch round the other sides. So please pay attention to how I'm doing this pocket. This is the pocket bag. Next, I'll be tracing out the pocket facing, and this is how I'll be tracing it out. Then I'll also be adding 1 inch by the side and half inch around the other sides. So this is what we have, and it is my pocket facing. So I'll be using 2 yards of this wine crepe fabric. I'll fold my fabric into two, place my front pattern on it, pin it properly so it doesn't move, then cut it out. I'll do the same for my back pattern. Make sure you pin properly. I'll also be folding my fabric into two before cutting. So this is what I have. Then I'll be cutting my pocket bag. I will also fold my fabric into two for the right and left pockets. So this is what I have. And I'll be marking out the front and the back piece, or the back piece of the both pockets here. So I'll also be cutting my pockets facing, two of these also. I'll also mark the two back sides. Now on the back pattern, I'll be sewing half an inch on that crotch side, and this is what we have after sewing half an inch. So on my front pattern now, from the place I notched, I'll be marking out 2.5 inches all the way to my hip line using loose stitches, after which I'll continue with my normal stitches, sewing half an inch to the end. So this is what I have, and this is what I did at the back, 2.5 all the way, then half inch towards the end. So that is it. So for my pocket facing, I'll be putting it how I want it to be in my pants, the wrong side facing the wrong side of my pants. Then I'll flip it over like so. I'll pin it down, then sew half an inch. So that will be the right side of my pocket facing, will be facing the right side of my trouser, or my front trouser. Then I'll pin it down, then mark out half an inch and sew on it, and I'll do that for both pockets, and this is what we have. So I'll pull it in now, and you can see our trouser is coming together. Next thing I'll be doing now is to sew our pocket bag, and I'll be placing it how I want it to be on my front pants, so that the front side of my fabric will be facing up. Then I'll place it there so and turn it the other way, and I'll be sewing 1/2 inch all the way. I'll also pin it down like this, then sew 1/2 inch. So this is what I'm going to be having after doing that. So this is what I have. I'm going to be sewing the back with 1/2 inch, and I'm also going to be holding down the sides with 1/2 inch also, just to hold the pocket bag and the front pants in place. I'll use 1/2 inch, but the allowance I added at the side was 1 inch. The next thing I'll be doing now is to mark out my dart of 1 inch, but my dart will not be, I won't be sewing it inside. I'll just be sewing my dart like a pleat, so I won't be sewing it inside. I'll just be pleating it on the front piece. Then I'm going to pin it down so that it stays in place, and also pin it to the top of my pocket bag, so I can sew on it and make everything to stay in place. So this is what I have. I'm just going to carefully pin them down, then I'll sew on it using about 0.25 so everything can be in place. So this is what I have after doing that. So I'll be sewing my back darts also, and this is what I have. Then I'll be joining my front piece and my back piece, and I'll be sewing the inner seam. I'll pin it down carefully all the way to the end, then sew using 1 inch sewing allowance I added to my pattern. I'll also do that to the side using 1 inch, which was the sewing allowance I added. And guys, this is what we have after doing all that. The next thing to do now is to fix my zipper. So now I'll be opening up my zipper fly like so. Then I'll be placing the front of my zipper to face downwards like so. Then I'll make sure the end of the teeth of my zipper stays close to the center line I have here. So make sure the teeth does not climb on the center line but stays close to the center line. And I'll make sure the allowance or the excess of my zipper moves to the up, so I don't have any excess zipper at the down of my trouser. I will take everything to the up. So I'll be sewing 1/2 inch now on the allowance of my zipper, and to sew this I'll be picking up one layer of the zipper fly and the zipper allowance like so. You can see that I'm only picking one of the zipper fly and the zip. So I'll be sewing 1/2 inch on away from the teeth of my zipper. I hope that was clear. So I'll make sure the teeth of the zipper is not on top of the joining. So I'll show us what I'll be having after doing that. So as you can see, this is what I have after sewing it. So now I will carefully arrange my fabric. Then I'll pick up the other side of my zipper and pull it to the right side. You can see how I arranged it. Then pick up one side of my zipper and pull it to the right side. I hope you understand that. So now I'm going to pick up the other side of the zipper fly and the zipper allowance. and I'm going to be sewing on it. But before then, I'm going to pin it so that it remains in place, because we moved the zipper from the left side to the right side, so I'm pinning it so it does not go back to the left side. So I'll pin it carefully before sewing. I'll carefully pin it, after which I'll pick it up like so and sew 1/2 inch away from the zipper teeth all the way to the end, and this is what we have. So now I'll remove my pins and I'll be turning my, so this is what we have after doing that. Then I'll turn my trouser to the front, and as you can see, none of our sewing appeared at the front here. And if you also take a closer look, you will notice that our zipper teeth is now on the left side. It is not at the center line of our front pants. Because of the movement we did at the back, the zipper teeth now has moved to the left side. So this is what we have. Now I'm going to be chalking out where we'll be sewing, about 1.25 all the way to our hip line. Then close to our hip line now, I'll be curving it. I'll be making it a curve towards our hip line. Now when sewing, 2 things to note. We'll try not to sew on the zipper teeth when sewing, and we'll also make sure that our fabric or another piece or another side of our fabric does not enter underneath our front when sewing. So when sewing like this, we always have to check under, so we'll make sure we're sewing on only the parts we're meant to sew. So always check that. So we'll keep on sewing. Then 1 inch before our hip line, we're going to be top stitching there. So that's our hip line. 1 inch before our hip line, we'll top stitch and turn our trouser to the back. So this is what we have. So we've been sewing on the right side now. As you can see, we'll be sewing on the right side. So now we'll be moving our left zipper fly all the way to the right side and continue our sewing from the front. So we'll carefully make sure it stays in place like that. We'll turn it to the front, then continue sewing. Then when we get to our hip line, we'll follow the curve there, curve all the way to the hip line, then top stitch. So guys, if you've not subscribed to the channel yet, please show us some love by clicking on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get updated anytime we post a video on this channel. Please like and share this video also. Thank you. So this is it. Came out well. So this is what we have. So now I'll just be losing the loose stitches we made at that point. So this is what we have. Our zipper fly came out well. So the next thing now will be to fix our band. I'll firstly be measuring all I have on my trouser waist. I'll measure it carefully. And as you can see at the beginning, I folded in the excess allowance on the zipper fly, so we don't need that. So I'll just measure from the zip all the way to the zipper fly at the front, and what we had was 33 plus 1 inch that we'll use to turn both ends of our band. making it 34. That is half inch on both sides, making it 34. And our band width is 1.5 inches. So I'll be marking out the half inch I'll be using to turn my band hem. I'll mark it out. I'll rule a straight line. So that is the allowance I'll be using to turn out my band. Okay, so this is what we have. Now the first thing I will do, I'm going to, after folding in my excess allowance, I'll be measuring what I have from one point to another point. That is from the center front to the side. I'll mark what I have, which was 9 inches. Then I'll mark what I have from my side to my center back, which was 8.25 inches. So I'll be marking 8.25 inches. And this is my center back. I'll label it as my center back. Now from my center back to the other side of my pants, I also had 8.25 inches. I will also mark that 8.25 inches. Then lastly, I'll measure what I have from my side to the end of my pants, and I had 7.5 inches. And you can see what I have also here is 7.5 inches. Then I'll be labeling this part of my pattern zipper fly. I'll label the up of my pattern and I'll call this part the inner part. Let's name it inner. So when we're fixing our band, we know where each side is supposed to go to. So if what you measured on your pant waist is not adding up with what's on your band, please remeasure your trouser waist till it's correlating. Then all the points I've marked, I'll be drawing out a straight line. Okay, so what I have on my band here is 33 inches and the waist I'm working with is 31 inches. So I'll be doing 33 inches minus 31 inches, which gives me 2 inches. So it means the top of my band should be smaller by 2 inches. That is, down of this pattern now I'll be having 33, but the upper part I should be having 31. So I'll be sharing these 2 inches on each of these points I've marked. Now on the center back, I'll be marking half inch on both sides. That makes it 1 inch. Then I have 1 inch more, and I'll be sharing it half inch on this line. So half inch on this line will make it 0.25 on each side of this line. Then the other line now, I'll be marking 0.25 on each of the line also. So that means I have half inch on the first side, 1 inch on the second side, and half inch on the third side. That makes it 2 inches. And I'll be connecting it to the tip or the down part of my band like so. Please take note of how I'm doing this. So I'll be connecting it like a V. So if I measure all I have, at this point I'm having half inch. On this point I'm having 1 inch, that makes it 1.5. Then lastly on this point I'm having half, that makes it 2. So now I'm going to be creasing these dots. I'll be closing it up like this, and I'll use my tape to tape it down. I'll do this for the other side. I'll tape it down also, and I'll do it for the third side also. So guys, please, if you have any question, please you can drop your questions in the comment section and I will reply to them as soon as I get it. So you can see our band now is not straight, so our band is now curvy. So we'll be measuring all what we have at the upper part to make sure it's the 31 we need for our waist. Make sure you carefully measure it. And you can see we have 31 inches. Then we'll measure what we have at the lower part. And we have 33 inches. So I'll just be blending out every sharp curve we have at the lower part. So when fixing this band now, the zipper fly should be at the zipper fly and the inner should be at the inner, and each of those points we made there must sit on the points of the trouser. So I folded my fabric into two and I ironed it with stay. I added 1/2 inch on the upper part and the lower part, and I'll be cutting out. So don't try to make your band straight. Our band is curved, not straight. So I'll be sewing 1/2 inch at the top. I'll turn it out and iron. I've sewn the sides with 1/2 inch also. You can see what we have, and I've notched each of the sides, the center back and the two sides, like so. So where we creased, I've notched there on our band. So this is what we have. So that is our inner. Our inner must remain on our inner, and our zipper fly part must remain on our zipper fly part. So now we're fixing our band. Like I said earlier, our inner must remain on our inner, and our zipper fly must remain on our zipper fly, and each of the notched points must sit on each of the joining, like so. You can see how I'm doing this. So before sewing, you need to pin it carefully. Each of these sides must meet, like so. So we have to do this carefully. The notch side must meet the sides we measured till it gets to the end. So I've gone ahead to pin it, and I'll be sewing it from the front first. I've pinned it down. I'll be sewing 1/2 inch. I'll be sewing it from the front. As you can see, the band is on the front of our pants, so that when we turn it the other way, we'll be able to finish it from the inside neatly. So this is what we have. You can see it's neat. So now to finish the inner parts, we'll also pin. We'll push in our 0.5 inches sewing allowance, pin it carefully, then turn our pants the other way and sew from the front. So we'll pin from the inside but sew from the front. So guys, I'm done doing that, and this is what we have. So the last thing I'll be doing now is to iron out my pant and fix my hook and eye, after which I'll be weaving every of the inner parts of my pants. I've also gone ahead to hem the down of my trouser, and this is what we have. Our trouser came out so lovely, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.